say in life, there are no guarantees. They say a lot of stuff like that. Slow it down. Play it safe. Hedge your bets. So what? You gonna listen to that? You gonna stop because they can't guarantee you'll pull this off? No guarantee you'll win? No guarantee everything's gonna be fine? In life, you make your own guarantees. Nobody else will light your way. Start your own fire and keep it burning. And we guarantee you'll have one hell of a lifetime.
Welcome back all to North American Challengers Promo Reload Turno. I'm Tenrek, with me still Keg, and we are going into our second of two matches today here in the upper bracket of the tournament. We are fresh off the heels of both the premier teams dethroning the relegated challenger teams. Blinn Esports and Resonate will be facing off in the upper finals like right now. Keg, we just got to see Resonate put on such a great show against Thinking Men and bring that back. Blinn College, on the other hand, 2-0'd Glazers. They didn't have too much trouble taking them down, much like they haven't had much trouble with this entire tournament or the premiere before that.
Whoa, hold on. Before we get into that, did you call it Promo Remo?
The Promo Reload Turno.
Oh, that sounds like a candy bar.
It could
I mean,
be.
I'd eat it.
That sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd eat it.
Yeah, go with that.
This is an interesting matchup, though, because Blinn have had a big journey, but through this, in the upper bracket, they may have a chance to completely evade the two teams that knocked them out of qualifier number 2, denying their grand finals upper and lower chance to get in the challengers. Now, we were fully expecting to see, I think, we were expecting to see the Blinn Glazer matchup go in Blinn's favor, but the fact that Resonate comes through and beats out Thinking Men is something I don't think any of us had predicted.
Yeah, I think we have to take a second for those who may just be joining us and talk a little more about how Resonate were able to beat Thinking Men, because it started out on a pretty dominant split for Thinking Men. But heading over to Ascent, it was clear Resonate's tempo shifts were much more concise and consistent, and they were able to push as a squad the same way we're used to seeing Thinking Men do it. That counter aggression that we saw, that we knew was one of the biggest weaknesses for Thinking Men, it just kept getting exploited so well by Resonate, and by the time that the fights were really starting, the advantage was already pretty decided, and on Bind, that was only accelerated to a point in which they took an even better lead in that third map. They seem very confident, they seem very communicative going into this matchup, going into what could be the last match they need to play to be a part of VCL.
I mean, look, Blinn's that one team through both qualifiers where everyone thought they were the one left out. They were such a dominant team, but they are also fundamentally very different from Thinking Men. This is a structured team. They're a collegiate team. Of course they're structured. They got a whole schedule of classes they have to follow. They know each other through and through. They have protocols set up. This is a wildly different beast than Thinking Men. And I want to point your attention to map number 1. That is Split. Now, the reason why I want to bring this to your attention, if you go on any stats website, it'll say Blinn in recent memory has had a 100% win rate on this map. That's not true. Blinn have been playing like 4 tournaments in the last like 5 days, and one of them was a collegiate LAN grand final that was not featured on those websites, where they played Split, and they didn't look good. They had a similar scoreline to what we saw Resonate have back on Split today.
Yeah, Blinn has been showing definitely a good couple weaknesses, and we see that in their inability to consistently place outside of these events. Now, make no mistake, Blinn, in getting to this point in the tournament, so far so good. They were undefeated in their Premier League in the East. They were the #1 seed walking into this. They 2-0, 2-0, 2-1 their way through that upper bracket into this point in the tournament, into that position against the Glazers, and then they 2-0 Glazers. But coming in before
Revenge.
that, they were not the #1 team in CVAL. In fact, I think they barely even scraped the top 4 for their region. They were not winning every single event. They were playing in the Funhaver Invitationals, but they were more consistently getting top 8s and 4s. They only won one of those events. And like you said, this is a team that still has classes all day, that still has you know, other schedules and obligations to fulfill. This is not a team that has it all figured out. Although, if you look at the numbers from just the past 2 days, that definitely doesn't look to be the case.
I mean, Blinn's a complicated case, right? Because, yeah, sure, they're not the top collegiate team, but it always feels like they should be one of the top ones. They have star-studded players. They have a lot of individualistic players that can really shine. I mean, look, every time we cast Blinn, every time we cast Mikey, I have to talk about him. He is one of the best Sentinels I've ever seen in this game, even up to Tier 1. The way he can anchor sites and really control the movement of a round is unlike any other Cypher or Killjoy I've ever seen. And on LAN, he's a demon, which wraps back to what we had seen just yesterday. He underperforms from him and everybody else on this same map that they're about to go into. This could be a team that's going to make the same exact mistakes as Thinking Men did earlier today, where they had the right idea as a team, but they couldn't hit their shots, couldn't trade each other, utility was off, and it was down to the microplay that Resonate was able to capitalize on.
I fear that, yeah, Blinn may have to lean on a lot of hero moments if we see them follow the same things. And there were absolutely 0 clutches in the previous series we got to see. Whenever a team got in, they shut it down. Resonate more often, obviously, but Thinking Men, very same kind of thing. And I agree. I think Blinn Esports, the weaknesses that they have exposed themselves to, whether that's that organization, whether that's that potentially limited map pool, whether that's the back and forth of scrims right now, considering that some organizations are playing before new patch, some organizations are playing after new patch. So who knows what Blinn's been playing lately? It is still up in the air. But it all comes to a head here. And like you said, split that opening map, Bind going to be that second one as well, and then Breeze, our decider. Very interesting third map choice, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to those maps we didn't see really know what to expect necessarily compared to other. But with that being said, though, they look fantastic through and through what we had seen in the previous series. It really makes me wonder, okay, well, they must have tricks up their sleeves. They must be doing a lot more, not necessarily VOD review, but they've been anti-stratting a lot of these teams that we had seen. And Blinn certainly should not be an exception.
Yeah, I think that Resonate has ways of dealing with these sort of not necessarily improvisational techniques, but spur of the moment techniques that these teams go for. They're able to challenge them very quickly and very aggressively with a lot of firepower behind it. We've noticed that they've been really stingy with their util pre-plant, regardless of what map they're on as well. They've been able to let go of a lot whenever they re-enter as a pack of 2 or 3 at a time, rather than just letting these ISO'd players let their kit go and see if they can do maybe half of one player's health. It's been really effective in making sure that these fights are concise, so they have a lot of time to defuse once they're on that post plan.
And speaking of Blinn structure, you'll almost never see a player by themselves. One thing to note too, Teague and Okeanos will always play with each other.
That duo,
and that was a big struggle. That was a big struggle yesterday, dude. Okeanos would just double blast pack in, try to get his single pick, just way overextension. I mean, he was just angry yesterday, and it didn't work. It just let Teague out to dry. But even then, Teague had a hard time even flashing for Okeanos, which tells me that there must have been some communication issues yesterday that I really hope was fixed into today. And I think it's certainly possible with this double Sentinel stall comp.
Yeah, I
Sorry,
imagine
Viper Sentinel.
Right, of course. I imagine that Okeanos is going to be a little bit hungry, regardless. I think he's going to maintain that attitude. It's a question of whether or not Teague wants to catch up with it and how much the team actually wants to play off of that. And that could maybe control Okeanos' tempo going forward in the rest of the map. So I'm wondering how quickly he's going to approach this, especially on the defense, if he's going to go for that mid hold or if he's going to hold more towards A like we see him do a lot more often. Meanwhile, Resonate's comp, no changes from last time we saw it. They got 13-3'd when they played against Thinking Men here. And I mean, there really isn't something we can't talk about when it comes to how they did. They're Conti on the Sage again. We didn't really get to see Sage do too much on Split. But granted, we didn't get to see them attack all that much. Nobody else really got opened up. Andrew didn't get too many entry frags. There are no true flashes on this comp, so you can't hold on to chokes. You kind of just have to kill and then move past them, so you have to be perfect in your takes. There's a lot of unanswered questions here for Resonate, and I wonder if we're going to be in the same position as we were previously, with it just blowout of map 1. And a very easy favorite to call early on before Resonate even has something to say. Before I even finish having something to say, Okeanos is up to 3 kills. He's just going to do this all by himself up tower until Conti can shut it down. And Resonate actually turns it into a 2v2 fight very quickly from below. Smoke up top, finally able to give space over for Resonate to try and go for the take. Mikey gonna dip out and go for that next kill, but Velas can shut that down. It's traded though for Teague, who is the last one standing for Blinn, searching for Velas. The backside is not checked. No reason to move from this though. There is a reason for Velas to move, and he only has a smoke and this TP available. No paranoia to blind him out, so it's got to be a slow play or just that dry push. It looks like it might be the latter. OT got impatient enough to get the right click and one shot to give Blinn the first round.
I mean, props to Resonate for taking an explosive start on B main. Very different from what we had seen back over in the previous series. And by the way, props to Resonate for choosing to pick into this map again, despite what happened when they faced up against Thinking Men just a few hours ago. They did not let that devastating loss dissuade them from playing this map at all. And they seemingly have changed things up a lot. That confidence now is back, and the double duelists are finding so much more added value pressuring B site because they know Spaz is going to be the only person handling B with the rest of the lockdown potential on A site. A very conventional comp they're up against that they're more comfortable facing.
This is off of Blinn choosing to start on defense, by the way, so they've got to have some tricks up their sleeve. Okeanos just feels so comfortable up here in tower near. It's ridiculous. And he's already one orb away from this showstopper after round 2, which Blinn will swiftly take.
Yeah, and again, that's just around design to try to take away some guns, but just hurt the economy a little bit more for Blinn. But this is where the real spiciness begins. Oh, that buy was interesting. It didn't look like it was a full buy coming out from Resident. They didn't force up into that. Okay. Well, okay. Well, this will be interesting to see. They have some economy left in the bank. I guess we'll have to wait and see what the strat is here. They're defaulting with just sheriffs and one stinger to work with. Conti may have to go Superman mode a little bit here. He's got the spray potential, a wall to boot as well, no slow orbs.
You've got to get through this first, and I mean, Spaz has had no real reason to move this game so far. Neither is Okeanos. Neither is anybody from Blinn, really. There is no reason for them to change course because this is the bonus round, especially when they recognize that they might not be up against full guns here. Resonate, I mean, the ball is entirely on them so early into this attacking half. But again, they've saved a lot of their util. They haven't done too much baiting. They're under the assumption that Blinn is going to stay put regardless of how much they throw because of presence alone. And they are right. Two members of Blinn, the two that we tended to see on B, stick in there till the bitter end, until the steps get heard. It's go, go, go. Resonate up the tower.
This is good. Great stall from the IGL Monty, holding down the line. One snake bite to work with. Okeanos from behind. Good for the opening swing. The tradability is not necessary. Wow, what a great way of shutting down Heaven. That's huge. Now most of your entry potential is gone. Do have the possibility of using Vents as an escape, but they don't know about this crawl over from Spaz back over towards Vents. If this is the rotate back over towards B, he's ready. Everyone else playing for retake potential. Monty hiding away on A.
Ooh, tough timing, but I think it might be too late for everybody else. Doesn't seem like anybody from Resonate is going to be able to get anything here. Velas is going to search, find Spaz. And Mikey, for that matter. Wow, 3K for Velas there. Impressive, but it's not enough. Blinn able to maintain that control. Resonate really have no clean way in.
Yeah, this was the big struggle before.
Yeah.
Had a hard time getting in. And again, going back to what we had talked about during Thinking Men, no initiator, hard time finding a lot of information start a round, and a great way to help supplement either one of your double dive duelists to take that space. No flashes outside of Velas's paranoia. Very limited options despite how it can go through walls is available on this map, especially when it's the only flash you can use. Oh no, the operator. Guess what, dude? This is even better. There's no flash to stall out a position or dial back Okeanos.
Yeah, Okeanos is just gonna have his way with this. Hey, it means he's not gonna dry swing you and go for 2 like he did last round, huh? He's just gonna hold these sight lines a lot more consistently. But Valis going for the TP ult early, gonna just head to CT and see if he can find Teague, but the bird is gonna confirm that he's here, and Teague is just gonna hold this fight. Luckily, he wins it because the rest of Resonate is on the way to try and save face. KHS and screens just in time to finish off Teague and guarantee that spike site is there, as Conti now gets to use that barrier orb to at least play with a little bit of time here and force members of Blinn to commit themselves to firing away using some util, but not necessarily spending their life, as Spaz is able to hold the sight line, deal with KHS who tries to enter, but now comes the rest of the site, and it's so hard to get in at this point. Even without the barrier orb, you just have so many sight lines that you have to worry about. Okeanos is going to deal with a couple of them with the showstopper, the page shells, and some shots. Are you kidding me? He deals with all 3 of them with
That's a certified paint moment.
Are you kidding me right now? I mean, like,
I love explosions.
I gotta see that again. That was so clean, bro.
Well,
Okeanos is locked in.
Yeah, I mean, good. After what happened yesterday, I would hope that Blinn's locked in on this map. Big thing to consider, too. No Viper for Resident. You cannot stall out the retake on Blinn. Oftentimes, you'll see an attacking Viper wall go down on A, designed in a way to shut down any possibilities of really fast, go through and take A main control. You're designing that wall to make sure a defensive team like Blinn must crawl through heaven and drop down in a single file line. At worst, a pinch retake from screens and top heaven. Not the case anymore. Resident now may have realized their critical error on this attacking side and may not want to go for A anymore. It's going to be hard to adapt around that. You're essentially making sure that you have to have A main control at all times. That means you have less bodies on A side itself. So either Resonant has to completely turtle up on A site in retakes, or they completely have to give up the site and play for screens.
Yeah, you can't just, you can't go to these exits. You're gonna get chopped off.
Oh, what are these pings? That must be the flash. This has to be a B hit from heaven.
This goes here.
Blinn looks to spread themselves out the same way as normal. Resonate gonna finally play around with this mid control, see what they can find. Monsi is gonna be the one watching. That is going to remain the case for the rest of this half, I believe. Monsi likes it a lot,
man.
And Okeanos likes opping B main, especially if he can grab the opening. Blood on to Conti. And now we take mid. Yeah, now no need to hold that for Monsi. He can just take the rest of the fight. He knows how aggressive this is going to be. Snake bite into Shorty. Now into Spaz from Vents. And it's all so figured out for Blinn. A flawless round 5.
Yeah, this is a collar-tugging moment right now for Resonant. I mean, they didn't have a great performance on Split, but this one's much more destructive because it's comp-based rather than actual, like, play style based. And so Resonant now, they're trying to take more mid-control. They didn't do that at all in the previous series, and they're being shut down on every lane even more effectively than what Thinking Men had done. Remember, this is a more structured team than Thinking Men. They have their protocol set no matter what their opposition looks like. They are going to hold this space, and bypassing Monsi's Viper will be so... Okay. Oh, never mind! So difficult!
I know exactly where.
Okay, yeah, you can't beat him.
You will not kill my ally.
The res is there.
And the Sage ult. So Resonate, they still have a good amount of tools in this, and Okeanos has been found out, has to opt from site, and also doesn't know who may still be on Garage. Too much to stare at. Will get blockaded and killed. Spaz from Beyond is able to take care of Kaho before retreating, so it'll be a 3v3 for the retake.
Cover going out.
The dog is used to scope out Tower. So now it just comes down to backside and Garage that need clearing.
Oh, man.
You
This
have
angle from KHS.
a bird. Now, this is pretty mean. You can find the drop down. You can't. Now it's down to Spike being watched. Velis wasting a good amount of time here. Conti playing Spike. Also good time wasted.
Knives?
That seems to be all the work needed. No, KHS is gonna watch this and is bluffed away. Lynn College make it work and are up to 6.
Makes sense that KHS would go for that play. Didn't buy that operator into the round.
Yeah.
Stole it from Okeanos, and I mean, it would have been great to go possibly for a save, but a 2v1. Bladestorm available, didn't whip it out, that's fine. Hopefully, though, we get to see it into a future round here, because this aggression from Resonate is such a good change of pace. But the problem, though, is that every single one of these rounds has been unbelievably readable for Blinn. And the fact that they found potentially an exploit here, Resonate taking mid-control and just removing Monsi, may actually strengthen Blinn a little bit more, too. That means your IGL goes down, he's able to maneuver and watch the POVs of your teammates so much more. That could be more control into the in-game leading.
Yeah. Every controller can do something while they're dead, guys. That's
Clove will come out soon.
That's a real Valorant player mindset.
There.
But look at that smoke. Pressed up against Resonate. The lurk goes down, but guess what? It's a mistiming. Kaho still around. No flash top heaven. He could have gotten away with it. But Neural Theft instead, though. Gonna make sure that's not quite the case anymore. But because the Trailblazer comes by right after the Neural Theft and nobody's there and nobody's mid, it's pretty assumed that Blinn, oh, this has to be an A take. There's really no other choice.
Yeah, Teague is just going to watch this just in case, because there's still 55 seconds to go. There's still technically a way for Resonate to get over to B, but with one more bird toss, they're probably going to head on over to. Resonate's got to commit to this. There is no way they can't go anywhere else, but they have to clear all of this now. Cypher's here. They have to get rid of the trap wires. They have to get rid of the cam. They have to get rid of everything. They have to deal with all of this spraying. They have to deal with all of this tower presence. They have to deal with this entire Blinn squad, including Okeanos, who is opping right next to this toxic screen. He's somehow going to find one on
30 seconds left.
He's somehow going to find a shot. He's going to be stupid. Oh, no, he's just going to pull out the shorty instead. Sure, dude. Okay. And now Spaz is going to cover his tracks with the fire. And Okeanos is going to dip back in to look for another here. That'll get punished, but the rest of Blinn will not. 7-0.
There's no response coming out from these duelists. There's no flashes to supplement any distance they can take. Resonate want to push something so fast and so aggressive, but they have no way of gaining an advantage in the situation. You push mid, Monsty's gonna come out of the smoke and topple you. I mean, same situation here with Heaven. One at a time. The lack of tradability, the lack of movement, the lack of places to go for Resident's side. I hate to say it, but at this point, if I'm Resident, I'm thinking about the second half. Because right now, other than maybe defaulting and hoping Blinn plays extra antsy and aggressive and pushes up, there's not a lot of answers for this composition.
Yeah, after watching 2 maps of this, it really is a question of, like, can this comp win?
One dead.
Oh, okay. There you go.
This comp entirely relies on the fact that Resonate can out-aim the enemy team.
Which they haven't been able to yet. They've been getting killed too quickly.
Like, Conti needs to out-aim people.
And it's over. Like,
KHS needs to out-aim everybody. And Andrew needs to out-aim everybody. Literally all 3 of them need to be activated in order for this to even be competitive.
Okeanos misses the showstopper, but can finalize, so the rest of Blinn can push, but they need to do so now. They're running low on time, and Conti's flank has been unshot. Position on shore, and they can make it work. Mikey
it's Mikey
now, and he cannot clutch it up. Resonate.
Perfect.
They will get a round done, and yeah, I don't have really many notes. I mean,
that's what they need to do for the rest of the half.
Couple things. Showstopper was used, first of all. Showstopper from Okeanos did not kill, so he had the rest of Resonate had way too much turnaround time there. But other than that, yeah, no notes. That was very well executed.
All 3 of those players, the Raze, the Jet, and the Sage, have to be monsters every round, and Conti especially was that last round. Completely unknown, evaded everybody, mini flank there, a double kill at the end, huge. This Viper's Pit's gonna cause a problem though. Completely locking down mid. Any rotate capability is also gone. Keep an eye on that tripwire too. Monty doesn't have to push up and find those opening plays. They can wait like a spider for the flies of Resonant just to push in. That's gonna be a tough ask, and already I think Resonant knows they cannot go that way.
Yeah,
luckily though, Mikey's already set up for B main. That means it's an anti-raise, anti-jet trip. So that theoretically is locked down. Paranoia to boot 2 from Spaz means a quick double cross swing should be mowing down this B main push. Oh, there's the reveal.
Just watching it. And the one way, the Spaz is spray. First one down, a lot of damage done too. Andrew's down to less than half. Mikey's gonna join in on the fun. You seriously throw this Paranoia in now? All right, no. Because Resonate still has some time on the clock. They have 35. This Viper Spin is still standing. Yeah, did Resonate just like forget?
No, I think they were trying to cut noise and reset the push back in, but maybe the assumption is that Blin's gonna panic and rotate A.
Yeah, but you just need one bird to deny that. It's, I mean, you don't have for post plant, but since when has Blin cared about needing it for post plant? Barrier to get them on site, but Spaz has gone uncleared as well. There is no answer here for Resonate, and they're on site.
Enemy remaining.
I mean, this is really tough, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like Resident are playing bad individually.
No.
It's just that they're very limited right now in what they can do. They are playing to the best I feel like this comp can do at the moment, outside of the fact that you just need to, first of all, guarantee the opening pick every round. And then you have to play off of it, or at least reset Blin's team enough that you can find a way to rotate the map and find another opening. The Cypher shut down enough is going to be so difficult, but Mikey could be the key to opening this up for Resonant. But he's got to be on point, and he usually is. Double cross here. Big contact plays outside mid. Monsi has the snake bite ready for the flash as well. A big stall yet again. Resonant, this is their only hope. That's a nice song. But the smokes are down. I appreciate Resonant's patience here. This might benefit.
Now they'll go in. Monsi just needs to be better.
Huge
He
trade.
is for a second, but Andrew's able to take care of that, and so vent control is now in the
know
conversation
exactly
for Resonate.
where you
They don't know whether to commit to it, though. They're going to use the Cypher ult to confirm whether or not they should. Mikey's position locked and loaded. Andrew Lowe going to be the one to take that trade, but Okeanos is still sniping, and Okeanos is still winning. Paint shells to cover himself up, and now Resonate has to retreat right into the Seekers, right into Teague, right into Andrew. What is happening? Still getting the kill. Mikey for the 2 for backside, but Resonate, they still somehow have this B map now. Blin College, both of the remaining defenders stuck over on A, and chaos is what allows Resonate to find an edge, find an angle, find an opening. Enough players in front of this split hold, and Blin cannot be fast enough simply because they were stuck up in mid for so long. Okeanos with a re-entry. Spaz was low, so that's an easy trade-off, but now it's the 1v1, and Kaho is 4 HP, literally a feather.
The shorty.
Blowing on him is gonna kill him. Okay, there
Oh,
you go.
no. It was so close. I mean, look.
Very.
Resident, again, point proven. They are playing very well for their composition, but they are so limited in terms of utility and distance. How they played it, targeting Monsi, taking the IGL down, and having options to move around there, has been the best option Resident has been able to find for themselves. Really impressive.
This goes here. That goes there.
Okay. Look at this. So instead of relying purely on pushing in, or like having 2 groups of 2 push in with your jet and raise,
This is a nice spot.
KHS is going to take it back. He's going to dial far back now and bring the operator out. Okay, he's looking to challenge Okeanos directly. I'm not against this, but again, there's no leverage for him to other than dry swinging.
And you have to make sure that the rest of Resonate's ready for you. Like, cause what do you, like, do you enact after? Or do you rotate off of that?
Honestly, at this point, I'm not going to play as a team. I'm looking to do 2 splits of 2.
Yeah, you gotta find one first. It really, first bloods have been so integral to this bracket so far. And I don't think that changes here.
They had such a hard time yesterday on their defense. All because the enemy raise was just in their face the entire time, but that is not how Andrew's playing this.
Drop is heard. Everything's heard here. Spaz, the smoke's gonna clear here. Spaz could peek into this, but
Great perma smoke.
Blin's just gonna hold.
45 seconds. This is a great stall procedure.
Yeah, slowly but surely, the rest of Resonant will head back over to A site slow and silent. Blinn does not have any intel recently about
Teague has no
how
flashes.
many are here. They'll just peek
30
into this.
seconds left.
Monsi runs out of bullets. So Conti will get one before going down.
Finish. One
Trap
enemy
wire,
remaining.
not cleared. Teague,
Spike
easy for
down
2.
A.
Cage put up, so KHS can't reaggress, and he's got an operator. Yikes.
Party's
Ooh,
over.
good shot, though. Was that a headshot?
I
That's
got
kind of
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. Let's go, bro. All right. But Teague is obviously able to counter that. Dude, like,
Last
This is
Andrew
tough.
on
in the
Reyna or
half.
something, man. Like, this is so hard.
They need an initiator. Honestly speaking, like, you could put Andrew maybe on Clove even more to find some value on utility while still
Yeah.
having like that self-sufficiency of Arena.
Or just like
better
Phoenix
put
or
Conti.
Yoru.
I think that's
A Yoru on this map would be wild.
Yoru with this comp would be kind of fun too.
Yeah, I could
definitely-
see it. Well, he'd have to be essentially a second Sentinel. You'd be replacing him with
Yeah.
Viper.
that's loud.
Like, ideally here, if, you know, you're 10-1, or 1-10, I should say, one thing we haven't seen from this team yet is just a fake split push.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, but this is such a good attempt. If you brought Raze over to where Conti was and sold that fake, everyone in Blid would over-rotate. But the two duelists are so hell-bent on playing with each other to trade each other out. And it's not a bad plan either, but it hasn't worked for 12 rounds.
Yeah.
They have to now make this the best defense of their lives.
And they have to open this up while they wait for Conti to come
remaining.
back too. Nobody's gonna do a thing. You don't. I mean, you don't have slow orbs to help out with the back to help the swings. You don't have your barrier orb up for this fight. It's again too fragmented, too difficult to get inside. And
Switching
Okeanos
sides.
is living the dream this half.
me a moment.
23!
Yeah.
23 kills in 12 rounds.
He bottom fragged yesterday on this map. Very, very different from Oki. Biggest concern I had going into today is that Blinn might not play like the Blinn I know. And they are playing fantastically at the moment, but they also, I really hate to say this, but Blinn hasn't really been challenged on this map.
No,
Resident need to
like-
play very aggressive right now. They have to play so proactive. They
Yeah.
should be 5 stacking.
Yeah, it's got to be all or nothing here, because there really hasn't been much to say when it comes to Resonate's attack, both times. Like, there is just not much they're able to do, and I don't know if that changes here when Blinn goes on the attack. But it is them who have to scope out the space, them who have to get rid of this barrier orb that Conti is going to put up mid, at least for this opening round of the half. Force some noise to be made, force some decisions to be reconsidered as Blinn College will spread themselves thin at the 70-second mark, looking for an opening.
I mean, that's prime conditioning right there from Blinn. Shoot that wall as soon as it comes up every round. Now, multiple members have to babysit that wall, even if you don't push it. Because now you don't know. Big unknown factor. Same with the Viper wall on B. So many roaming and lurking opportunities. Okay.
Everything's heard on A site. KHS will not challenge this. And Teague still waiting behind. There's still a lot of presence here in lobby, actually. They're going to use that to try and just take this fight downright. While
mean,
the
this
rest
has
of
to be a
Blinn gets
full
the spike
retake.
down. Yeah, this
Spike
is
planted.
full immunity here, but Resonate does have a lot of util, including this paranoia that it's going to use to cut the site in twain. Mikey, good for the one, and now Teague is actually blocked away. There's 2 here in lobby, so they can double swing this if they're smart. Okay, good for at least the one. Trade it out.
Kaho's so low, and so is KHS. Velis the only one alive with full health and no util.
Enemy
So
remaining.
tough. Velis somehow gets away with both of those, and so it's just down to Monsi, who cannot do it. Resonate, they find a very slim window in, but it is the one that both teams were looking for to gain the edge. Resonate does it to get their second round.
I mean, that might be all you need if you Resonate, just to get the ball rolling. A big confidence booster there from the team. That could be enough to send the morale way up high yet again. And to be fair, the Resonant is playing so well together as a team. But just like we talked about for the attack, this is a team composition solely based on A, stalling, and B, making sure you can guarantee the first blood and that you can out-aim your enemy opponents. That is a very tough ask when you go up against Blinn. Tripwires are down now. Anti-Okeanos Blast Pack tripwires. That'll be a good way to shut him down if he goes into it. But Blinn are taking this slow, and they can afford it.
Yeah, they're very content just playing the waiting game here. Okeanos, good angle to challenge KHS off of, though. And he's going to go ahead and grab this Marshall if he's allowed to, which he is. So now, some improv getting done from Okeanos. At least some damage to Velis. That'll farm away the healing orb, but not much else. And so that threat swiftly dealt with.
Destroyed.
Okay.
The Trapwire now getting the members of Blinn to the extent where Kaho and Andrew can clean house. And their setup works wonders here in the opening of the second half.
Really liking the coverage and some re-clearing potential coming out from Resonant here. This is good. Playing together as a much more coordinated unit on the defense is benefiting their team comp so well. But now full rifles will go into the hands of Blinn, and you're stuck with Spectres. And again, it's not your traditional third round buy where you're on your bonus. If Blinn win this rifle round, they're on match point. And Resonant will have to win 9 in a row to hit overtime at minimum. Looking for the pick, then wall. No, not even. Huge, absolutely gigantic. That might be all you need. Again, the flashes are gone now. Blinn essentially in the same position now as Resonant were back on their attack. Yeah. They have very little util for initiation now.
That's a huge pick for KHS. Okeanos still going to step in and actually grab a kill through tower, but it doesn't guarantee any space. And Conti's already thrown up the barrier, so half of his purpose was already served. But mid control is now Blinn's. And so they could squeeze this if they wanted to. They just have to choose the right site, and they don't have a lot of intel gathered in order to do that properly, especially with the smoke downstream. It's got to be the tower that initiates. Okeanos going to be the one to do it. Andrew spotted. Spaz can traded, but Kaho now got to be crunched on, and Blinn College find the timing. 3v2 in the post plant, and they do have a lot more space to play with. Velis only with one smoke. He's going to use it now.
Jet cloud bursts.
Yeah, there's still so much. Yeah, that's true. You can go for half here with that. Blinn College, none of them are going to play Garage here. They're all just going to play Sight. KHS, one free check, one free fight. One Velis and KHS get it done! Together
oh my God.
We stand strong! And the bonus is swiped up! 4-11.
Oh, I'm speechless. I need to see that as a replay.
That was sick.
That was awesome. Okay. Like, I have no words for that retake because that was a dry swing to start it off, but the coordination and the spray transfer from KHS was fantastically on point. No nerves at all from this team anymore. We mentioned how in the previous series they might be succumbing a little bit to pressure. I don't think that's the case anymore. These guys are like a rock emotionally. 3 rounds in a row now. And an aggressive push to boot? Conti with an outlaw, no less. Flow orbs are out. They have plenty of info on Oki. Oh, no. Oh, no, Tenrek. Yeah. Oki's falling to the same trap as yesterday. Yeah, Blast pack, overextension.
This is where he starts to stumble. The slow push is going to be what gets the job done for the other Rays.
I must wait.
The trap wires. Tough to waltz through. Enough time for the rest of Resonant to come back. Big blinds for Monty to be unable to act for a while. And Kaho is untradeable here. Huge girl left as well, just to guarantee things. I mean, that is very much decided here. Mikey cannot really do all too much. So Resonate up to 5 now. This is looking really good so far. No clean way in, but Blinn. I mean, when they play together, what do we do from here? Does Okeanos continue to just try and
Blinn need a timeout?
Or
no, they gotta calm Okeanos down. They gotta talk to him. I mean, they gotta realistically talk to everybody here and be like, look, we gotta chill. We have a significant lead right now. We cannot squander this. Because now we're seeing a lot of really emotional plays coming out from Blinn. Sure, that was a half buy round that last round, but again, that's not a symptom. You want to become a disease. They are playing individualistic, no trade opportunities, brazen wide swings, and no utility to help initiate those trades or even the swings to begin with. Not a position you want to be in as Blinn. If you want to make it the Challengers, you cannot do plays like that. So now 6 rounds ahead. Blinn can correct their mistakes right now. Ult cycling looking great. Okeanos 2 off of Showstopper. And Spaz, he could reposition so easily in the post plan with From the Shadows once it's achieved. It's not impossible here for either one of these teams, but you need to have nerves of steel to do it.
Nerves of steel.
This is a nice spot.
See,
it's okay. Blinn are getting active.
The stupid thing is with gamer tags is that you can
This
make
goes here.
you can make any pun about
That
anything
goes
and
there.
it could work.
Now,
And you could just say the
where
word
to
and
set
you'd
up
be like,
shop?
that's a player who plays the game. They name themselves that.
Oh, Blinn. This is good. I like this response. Playing it slow, Okeanos, really tethered to Teague.
Yeah, this duo is lethal when they're allowed to act, and not only are they with each other, they're with Mikey too, who can
They need the flash.
play that backup. They need that watch to make sure nobody can stop them, stall them. There's that second slow orb to make sure that this can't happen, and the barrier. Conti is full committing to this, and Blinn will too. Shoot down that barrier immediately, make sure that Conti can't grab that orb right
But
in
look
front
at
of him.
mid. This is the most important part of the round now for Blinn.
Yeah.
Trying to find any semblance of space, waiting for the push-up from Resident. It won't come. But they're looking to see if they can just have this exodus for Teague to bring the spike back over to mid.
No way Kaho is leaving.
They're faking A-site.
AHS, out comes the op. Way too much to look at. Assumed that Teague was alone there, but that
It's not fake.
presence. The other side of mid is so important. Now the peek out to A main, and neither Mike nor Okeanos is ready. And now Andrew understands that the rest of the push is coming from mid. Pain shells will do a little bit of damage. In fact, enough to deal with one. Spaz will fall to them. So a 2v3 here.
One
Has
enemy
been given away.
remaining.
Where is your team?
Spike
Check
down
for Conti.
A.
Wait for Teague. Where are we right now? Certainly not in Challengers yet. Resonate up to 6. Conti with 3. Unacceptable round.
Look, Resident is playing so great, but these are purely the mistakes of Blinn right now. I don't mean to, knock down Blinn necessarily, but like, it's just like these are rounds that should be a slam dunk that are just falling away from Blinn. It's just simple mistakes. Resident has been the best team I've seen so far really punish these overly aggressive plays. And Challengers has a lot of teams like that. For a while we had Glazers, we did have Thinking Men, we had Turtle Troop doing that too, where the confidence is the number one acting factor of them. So a lot of times you'll see double blast back raise, judge in your face, and that's the round defining move 30 seconds in at minimum. So right now, we do have a small pause. This is good. Everybody can catch their breath. Resident right now are taking advantage of the fact that Blinn are tunnel visioning very hard. They're looking for picks. They're not looking for the objective.
Blinn College, it's funny, I always thought of them as like the Stratego spy of
They are!
because they were like we can best Glazers and we beat Glazers and we can beat Thinking Men too, and we've faced off against them so many times, and we can face off against YFP, and Resonate just walks in behind everybody, and they've never placed as high as any of these teams before, and none of these players have placed individually on teams higher than this before, and they walk in and
That is a
able
tilter.
to just say no to so much of what these teams have to offer. The second that anybody gets too big ahead or too far ahead, for that matter, Resonate is just there waiting for them, shutting them down. Not even with util. They just know. They just have the right corner. They pump the brakes on them so immediately. And a lot of these teams, they just don't know what to do off of that. Momentum is what they run off of.
Giannis, oh my god. Like,
man.
This is the same thing that happened yesterday. And again, that was a LAN grand final, a very big one at that. And it was the same mistake, and it wasn't even just Split, which was map number 1. I believe map 2 was Sunset, which is historically not a great map for Blinn in general, but it's plays like this that is costing them rounds. At this point, Mikey, that's good. A great anchor holding down B Heaven. Combo down below.
One enemy remaining. Spike down.
I'm speechless.
Well,
That sucks.
I'm flabbergasted. I mean, again, not even in a negative way. Resident is playing so damn well.
Yeah.
This is not the team I expected to outperform everybody in this tournament. You know who I expected to do that? Blinn!
One enemy. Spike down.
Luckily, though, this is still the winner side. So, you know, worst comes to worst for either one of these teams. There's still the lower bracket. Sure, you're facing elimination at that point, but at least then you still have a chance to qualify.
Yeah.
Because Resonant, if they keep playing like this, it's like they know they could destroy almost any Challengers team. It's like they know the play before it happens. They have such a good read on Blinn. Or even if they don't have the initial right read, like we can see the correction right now from Resident. They know how to correct themselves properly. Oh, that's such a strong start. The IGL now taking down KHS. That might be all you need is Blinn.
Yeah, that's big for Monsi. Okeanos is going to be found out here using the ultimate. Is Andrew in the counter to take down 2? And the re-entry is once again with more than enough time to spare. But Mikey and Monsi, the rest of Resident walk into them as they're far more prepared than the rest of Blinn was. A Viper
Conti needs one for the Resurrect.
planted. And Conti just needs 1 kill to grab this res. Wants to stick around this side of the site to guarantee that he can farm that body.
One enemy
Just
remaining.
spraying in,
He'll
there
do
it
it.
is!
Much is ready.
2v1 if he wants. But
He's
now
gonna
that
resurrect
body's gonna be
KHS.
parked.
Your duty
There it is.
not
KHS
over.
KHS has
revived.
knives! Oh
And
no!
Monsi, now in the 1v2, is gonna have to play for time as KHS lets that ultimate fly.
enemy
Out he
remaining.
goes into Link. Monsi shuts it down. First tap. Conti low. Decayed. Monsi in the fight of his life. For the 12 finds the bullet after the pit fades away. And Blinn College crawl to 12.
Match point.
Like, the decision making in that final instance from everybody involved was so good. The resurrect on KHS, the knives, knowing that the ultimate was fully prepared and ready. The fact that Blinn, start of round 2, was able to just dial themselves back, hold the pacing, and really take a deep breath to assess how they wanted to approach B. And most importantly, they got the opening pick against Resident.
That has been
Let's see if they can do it
so
again.
important. My God.
One-way setup now. Blinn are just waiting for that initial util drop to go away, draining this defensive team if they can. That wall goes up. It should go down.
No
Give
spray.
it enough time.
They're not gonna challenge Conti here. I guess they don't know how many other people are here yet.
They are trying to assume it was already a rotate. Mikey's gonna wait for that wall to fall and go for a late flank. No, don't do this, Mike.
Oh, okay. And leave. Mikey, leaving that fight. He's gonna stick around this trap wire, just maybe try and force some extra util out while mid is poked at. Resonate is aware that they're here. They don't know who is though.
Oh, the Seekers, that's huge.
That is gonna be
Unbelievable.
big, yeah.
Crunch down on A.
Free access, paranoia to slow. And now T doesn't necessarily know how far away Velis is. No, here's the steps. And there's your first blood. There's your entry for just about everybody except for Monsi, who will get caught by Andrew on that lurk. Resonate very ready for that at this stage.
Spike planted.
The plant's for free. Conti still unchecked on site though. Deals with Okeanos in the back. Finally countered by T taking over site, and that's where the rest of Blinn will remain except for Mikey, who has tower. 2 members of Resonate to try to save this game.
One enemy
Once again,
remaining.
in we roll and out we go. Blinn
Attackers
College, they
win.
have it locked down. It took them a moment, but they had more than enough of them. 13-7 for map 1.
I mean, what is there to say? That was an unbelievable match in a lot of different ways. I mean, where to begin, right? Like, you've got to review that match because that was wild to see. I mean, I think this matchup is a really good testament about what emotions can look like in a competitive match. Because Blinn, they had all the right tools to succeed. They got a little too overly aggressive at times, but they brought it back.
Yeah, they played those rounds so well. Resonate played those rounds so well for a second. We forgot what the comp was. Like that's how it developed, and eventually turned into a map that Resonate's a little more proud of than the one against Thinking Men, but not enough to warrant a victory. Which Blinn is just one away from getting into Challengers North America. The journey is once again one map away from coming to a close for the third time for Blinn Esports. They have been this close. Will they make it this time? We find out after the break.
The game starts long before the game starts. And warm hands are faster hands. Gain the upper hand and power up your pregame warm-up with Zippo hand warmers.